Ukraine crisis in 2014 was a critical juncture where perceptions of Russia in Norway and generally definitely took a different path. In March 2014, Russia intervened with a covert military operation in eastern Ukraine and on the Crimean Peninsula. This ended with the formal incorporation of Crimea into Russia later the same month. Most of the outside world regarded this as an illegal annexation.
The conflict also contained a war between competing strategic narratives from the involved actors, such as Russia and Ukraine, as well as the United States and other NATO countries. All of these strategic narratives contain a potential for cross-national cascades into, for instance, the Norwegian narrative.
The analytical framework for our first descriptive research question is whence three images of enemy, rival, and friend. These represent three broad categories of a state's mutual perceptions of each other. When these perceptions add up to widely shared ideas among a sufficient number of states, they form cultures of anarchy, conceptualized as either of a Hobbesian, Lockean, or Kantian ideal type.
What we do in this paper is to examine the Norwegian case. Our focus is on the framing of Russia during the most dramatic month of March 2014. Which images of Russia appeared in the narratives about the 2014 crisis in the three major Norwegian newspapers?
The Norwegian media narrative was relatively consistent in framing Russia as choosing a path leading away from being a rival of Norway and the West towards becoming their enemy. This was close to the narrative of the Norwegian government and in clear opposition to the Russian narrative.
Our second research question inquired whether the newspaper's representation corresponded to the arrested war hypothesis, and, of course, to evaluate this against different sets of norms for the news media. The most celebrated is that of the news media as an independent fourth estate. The tradition of peace journalism can be considered to be an alternative. However, in matters of national security, norms of patriotism and social responsibility may also be important, more or less transforming the fourth estate into the fourth branch of government. The Russian narrative of the conflict was presented to international audiences through the RT International network. The Russian intervention was an humanitarian action according to this, and a defensive reaction against Western encirclement in Russia's near abroad. Margarita Simonian, RT's editor-in-chief, was quite explicit on the fourth branch of government norms, which she stated that, "I consider Russia's position to be right. I'm Russian. I support my country and I will fight for the truth as long as it takes." On the other hand, our analysis indicates that the Norwegian press presented a clear anti-Russian, pro-Western narrative. Front pages and articles explain why we should fear the merciless Putin. As the press had arrested the war, they definitely did not follow the norms of peace journalism. They were closer to the norms of patriotism.